Hey guys, Pet.net79 here. I bring to you today a little first look slash comparison with some other knives in my collection. But this is the newest knife that I got in my collection. You guys can see by the name, Williamson. So this is the LANSKY X9 Responder quick action knife. So here's the package that it comes in. You know, this is something that I've looked and I said for the price this is a pretty good knife. I just waited until it got on sold on Amazon. So maybe a little bit of an error here. It's 5-inch blade. This thing is not a 5-inch blade. This is more like a 4, even maybe depending on how you measure the blade. But if you measure the blade just at a distance, it's like 4 inches or even less than 4 inches. So it's not 5 inches for sure. So if you're looking at that and say, wow, 5-inch blade, no, it's not a 5-inch blade. So but this is the LANSKY Responder X9 quick action knife. The blade steel is sandvik steel 12 C27 blade, so pretty good steel for the blade. Pretty good knife overall. Let's look at it and talk about it a little bit more in detail so you guys get an idea of what the knife looks like and if you should buy one. So I ordered this knife directly from Amazon, so I didn't have to look at the knife in person. I didn't look at the knife, I just ordered it and see how it looked like when it arrived. So it arrives in the packaging, as you guys can see, fully open. Let's take a look at the blade itself. So pretty good blade, pretty nice design. As you guys can see here, I'm gonna have to clean up the blade. I just did some paper cut this. Actually, this is the second time I'm gonna film this video, but let me show you guys in detail here. One thing that I'm gonna hit on the knife, I'm gonna hit on a couple points on the knife for my personal preferences. This knife has a couple of drawbacks and I'm gonna share with you guys what it is. One of the things I don't like is that they use proprietary screws for the knife, for some parts of the knife, so you cannot disassemble this knife and clean it, take it apart for maintenance, lubrication and stuff like that. So this is one of the most the major hit I can say about this knife is they have proprietary screws. So as you guys can see, the screws right there. Oh, actually you got a Torx in the middle. What? So you got Torx screws in the middle, so you can probably take that apart. What? Nice. Alright, forget what I said about that. I just found that out. Nice. You got the design, but you got some Torx in the middle, so you can take that apart. Nice. Very nice. Alright, so that's one of the things that I haven't noticed in the beginning. You got actual Torx screws there, so you can take a screwdriver and just take that apart. Excellent. Excellent. So I haven't noticed that in the beginning. I thought it was proprietary. So is that the same thing here? Yeah, it's the same thing. So you can take that apart. You can take the knife apart. Thank you, Mr. Williamson. So actually I just saw the pins like that and I thought it was going to be like my Gonzo knife or something, that it was going to be something that you can take apart. So pretty cool, pretty cool. So I just found that out with you guys. I'm going to leave that in the video. Fuck it. I just got the knife yesterday, so bear with me. So let's look at a couple things I like about this knife right out of the box without even having to look at it. So let's look at the Lockup and the blade geometry. I mean the liner lock geometry for the lock face right here. This is excellent. I mean, early Lockup, nice geometry that's going to wear nicely. Nice quality steel on the blade. What else? So let's see the blade centering. Blade centering right here, I would say it's pretty much perfect right out of the box. Perfect blade centering. So as you guys can see right there, perfectly aligned. So nice blade centering, and that's directly from Amazon. So which I got this for $40, so pretty excellent. So one of the points that I wanted to hit on is gone. So this thing just went up in score value. So I'm gonna put this a little higher on the list. So one of the things that I wish this thing would have compared to let's say my Resilience or even my Rat 1 is phosphorus bronze bushing. As you guys can see, I haven't taken it apart, but I only see some nylon washers in there, so not a big deal, because another knife that has some nylon washer is my Kelly Warren Timberline. So this thing, but I mean this thing, maybe I need to break this knife down a little bit and just play with it and just do a break-in period. So, but look, compared to this, the Kelly Warren Timberline, this thing, the blade just falls on its own. I mean, you don't even have to do anything. It's just butter smooth. Did I mention in this review that I should have bought like 5 of these knives? I should have bought 5 of these. 5 at the price they were selling. I think they were selling it for like 15-16 bucks. I should have bought 5. Should have bought for like 50-60 bucks worth of these knives, dude. I love this knife. I mean, in the hand it just feels great. You can just go from regular to a backhand. I mean, the reverse grip, just you can switch it easy. I mean, this blade is really cool, but it's in my collection. This isn't something I'm gonna use because they don't make it anymore, and you know, it's one of the last of its kind. So anyways, back to the LANSKY X9 Responder. I've went off course a little bit, but as you guys can see right out of the box, if you just start to close the blade, I mean, you have to really shake it to get it to close. Even then, like I said, it might be a break-in period. I'm gonna play with it and see, maybe play with a pivot, see if I can adjust that a little bit. But otherwise, when you flip it open, it flip open smoothly. Maybe not as fast as I would like if you put a little bit more force in there. The jimping on top is not really effective. It's rounded off jimping. It's there. I would consider that maybe between low and medium, just in between those two for traction. But the flipper that becomes the guard, this is one of the best feature I like on knives. My in-run, I love it for that feature. So let's do a few size comparison. All right, so this is something I wanted to do. I got my in-run close with me. Where's my in-run? Well, the in-run's not there, so I got some other knives close by. So let's see. So this is the Kelly Warren Timberline. So if I line up the scales for the blade itself, so let's see if I line these up right there. As you guys can see, lining up the scales, the Kelly Warren is just a tad bit longer, so for the blade. So and I don't think this is even a 4-inch blade. I'm gonna have to measure it, but I don't think this is even a 4-inch blade. So I don't know how they measure the blade. I don't know if they measure it from here and they roll up the way up to here, or from the top here and it just they measure the actual you know, part of the steel that's inside and going all the way out towards like that. I don't know how they measure the size of the blade, but it's not 5 inches, that's for sure. It's not even, I don't think it's even close to 4 inches. So in overall measurement, but my Kelly Warren is a little bit longer for blade wise, and it's smoother, even though it's got nylon washers. So LANSKY, if you're watching this video eventually, or if somebody else watched that knows people, maybe Mr. Williamson right here, if you could include some phosphorus bronze bushing washer in the knife, that would make this thing closer to a 9 and a 10. I mean, it would go up in my scale. So let's compare that to, let's say, a Kershaw trimmer for size. If I line up the scales here, so the trimmer, if I line up the scales, trimmer is a little bit shorter on blade length, and this is 3 3/4, so a little bit shorter in the blade length. So maybe it's closer to 4, but maybe I don't think it's exactly 4. So let's see for the trimmer's assisted. So and I leave my knife open in the drawer. So assisted knives you should leave open if you're not using them in a drawer or something. Leave them open so you preserve the life of the mechanism. So if I line up the scale, so a little bit, so shorter for the trimmer. So let's see if I put them on the ground. So actual length, if I put them up, I mean if I line them up like that, the LANSKY is a little bit longer. So I did the test where I just rest them like that in vertical, and the LANSKY is just a tad bit longer. So let's see if I can hold them off and just show you guys like that. So the LANSKY is just a little bit longer. So let's put that up here for comparison and just show you guys just something that's just for the hell of it and funny. Yeah, let's go with the Cold Steel Voyager. So let's see for size wise. I'm gonna put that on the sides here, so let's make it sure it's in the frame like that. So let's see. Of course the Voyager is gonna dwarf it, so it's a Cold Steel Voyager, but this thing is a little bit too long for my taste, especially for the EDC or something. It's just way too long, and you know, it's a good blade, but it's just way too long. I wish they would make that in a 5-inch version. 5-inch would be just the right length, I think. Just a little bit smaller 5-inch knife, that would be perfect, or 4.5 or something. But 5 is just too much. So let's take another knife in my collection. This is the Spyderco Resilience. Very nice blade, light. You know, it's butter smooth. I mean, when you open that and when you close it, I mean, this thing is smooth. Maybe not as smooth as the Kelly Warden, and this thing has I mean, just nylon washers, and this thing's got browns and nylon washers, so it's got both. So, but this thing is smooth. I mean, you just open it up. It's, you know, you just close it down. This thing is smooth. So, I wish if the knife would have been as smooth as this, I mean, this thing would be top rated. I mean, it would be amongst the best blades. So let's look at one more, my Rat one. So let's just see for the length on the. Of course, the Resilience is going to be a tad longer. I mean, if you line up the blades with the scales, of course the Resilience is a little bit longer for the blade length. So a little smaller than the Resilience. I love this blade, but I'm not using it a lot because it's one of my most expensive knives that I have for myself. So just for fun, let's see the Voyager for how the blade is smooth. But this is a heavy blade, so of course it's gonna fall a little bit more easily. So let's put that on the side, and let's say it's gonna put that right there. So let's see, one of my next blade is the entire Rat one. So this thing has got phosphorus browns and nylon washers as well. So let's just see for blade length, if we line up the scales like so. So of course the LANSKY is going to be a little bit bigger, not much. I mean, if we line up the scales like that, as you guys can see, it's a little bit longer, but not much. I don't know how they measure blade length, but I mean, like I said, the blade length on the actual cutting edge, I mean, maybe it's gonna be longer on the LANSKY, but I mean, the Rat is holding his own, and the blade length is, I mean, you guys know this is not 4 inches for the Rat one. So I mean, I don't know how they measured blade length, but it's kind of different. So let's put that here. So let's do a little test for the LANSKY, just to give you guys an idea how it comes out of the box. And I'll touch up on one more point and I'll end up the video, because this is turning to be a long video. So I'm gonna have to upload this, and this is gonna be a long time to upload. So alright, well, not that long, maybe half an hour. So let's do a little paper cut test. Alright, show you guys the initial sharpness out of the box. And I'm going all over the blade, and I'm doing straight push cut. So I'm not deviating from the blade, meaning that I'm not slicing, I'm just pushing the blade through it. So this is how you do a cut test. You don't slice, you just push you just push in the same part of the blade as you do for a real cut test. So I'm gonna have to do some cleanup. But as you guys can see, the initial sharpness, maybe not all over the blade. If I go towards the tip of the blade, it's not as sharp as I would like, but I could still touch it up on the work sharp or on a couple of other things. So not as sharp as I would have liked. Still pretty good sharpness, but maybe a little bit of touch up. But I want to show you guys something else here. So there's a little grind mark here that you can see. Probably not, but on the edge here there's a little bit of a grind mark that's been grounded off, you know, on this side right here. You could I don't know if you guys could tell, but there's a little discoloration there. So try to go in closer so you guys can see it. Right there, a little discoloration and a little uneven grind, but still this thing is pretty sharp out of the box. Let's see the tip, how sharp the tip is. The tip is not bad, but it's not as sharp as I would like. I would like to see the tip just a tad bit sharper, but I'll change that on my work sharp. I'll just do a little modification, not too much as to make the knife, you know, not aesthetically pleasing. I'm just gonna take just the 6000 and just polish the tip, the back side of it, so it'll make it a little bit sharper. Just clean it up. So alright guys, first look slash comparison with other knives for the LANSKY X9 Responder with the 12 C27 sandvik blade. So pretty good knife for the money. I definitely recommend you buy one, especially if you pay $30–35 for it. A really good blade, feels good in the hand, feels good in the pocket. I mean, for the tip down carry, feels good in the pocket. I haven't tried tip up yet, so, but a pretty good blade. And I just found out that the pivot, you can actually take it apart with some torque screws here, so excellent. Might play with that in the future, but for now I'm gonna have to do some cleanup and just end this video. So 17-minute video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on the LANSKY X9. It's not a review per se, but it's kind of a, you know, first look slash review. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe. You guys are gonna see more video in the future, that's for sure, because I got lots of more things to review. Some knife related, some, you know, technology, some little bit of everything, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys on the next one.